Welcome to Interian Security Insights. In this podcast, we explore Microsoft security, identity compliance, and governance topics shaping modern organizations. From Microsoft Entra and identity protection to zero trust and regulatory alignment, each episode provides practical insights for securing Microsoft environments in a rapidly evolving landscape. Let's get started. March 2026. That is the day everyone needs to circle.
In red ink, yeah.
It sounds so far away, but, in terms of enterprise change management, it's basically tomorrow morning.
It is.
That's when Microsoft is flipping the switch to auto-enable passkey profiles and Entra ID.
It's a forcing function, plain and simple. Microsoft has clearly decided the industry isn't moving fast enough toward phishing-resistant auth.
So they're giving everyone a nudge.
A shove, really. I mean, if you're a tenant admin and you haven't explicitly configured anything, the default is changing. The registration campaign is shifting.
Right. It's no longer, please set up Microsoft Authenticator.
Exactly. It's now passkey first.
Which, on paper, sounds fantastic. We all want to kill the password. But the nuance here is what kind of passkey we're talking about. This isn't just about handing out YubiKeys to everyone. This is about platform keys.
Right. And, for this audience, we don't need to re-explain FIDO2. The core issue is where that private key actually lives. Microsoft is pushing what they call synced passkeys.
And these rely on the big ecosystems.
Yeah, Apple's iCloud Keychain, Google Password Manager, Windows Big. Hello. The friction is incredibly low for the user because they just use the device they already have in their hand.
But hold on. If it relies on the ecosystem, that implies the private key, my corporate root of trust, is syncing across a user's personal devices.
That's it. That's the conflict.
So if I register a passkey on my corporate iPhone and that syncs through my personal iCloud account, technically my corporate credential now exists on my unmanaged personal iPad at home.
You've hit on the exact strategic dilemma. Microsoft is prioritizing adoption, making the barrier to entry basically zero. But for a security architect, that syncing behavior, it breaks the traditional model.
It completely breaks it. You have this theoretically strong phishing-resistant authentication living on a device you don't trust, a device you can't even see.
It's terrifying for regulated industries.
So my immediate knee-jerk reaction as a CISO is just to say, no way, block it. Can I tell Entra to block those specific platform keys?
You can, but it's not a simple on-off toggle.
Yeah.
This is where we get into the weeds with AGOTs.
Authenticator Attestation Global Unique Identifiers.
Exactly. Every single authenticator from a YubiKey 5 to an iCloud keychain has a specific ID. So in the Entra Admin Center, you can configure your FIDO2 policies to enforce attestation.
And that lets me whitelist specific AGOTs and block everything else.
You could, theoretically, yes. You could say only these corporate hardware tokens are allowed, but then think about the user experience cost.
You're killing convenience.
You're killing the very thing that makes passkeys viable for your entire user base.
Yeah.
You're basically back to buying hardware for everyone.
Okay, so let's assume most orgs won't do that. They have to allow platform keys, which brings us back to the unmanaged iPad problem. How do we solve for that?
You stop treating the credential as the entire security boundary. This is the pivot. You have to pair authentication strength with device compliance.
In conditional access.
Yes. You can't just have a policy that says require phishing-resistant auth anymore. It must be require phishing-resistant auth and require device to be compliant.
Ah, I see. So even if the key syncs to that personal iPad, when the user tries to log in, Entra checks with Intune, sees the device isn't managed, and blocks access.
Exactly. The passkey proves who they are. Intune proves what the device is. That combination is the only way to safely deploy synced passkeys in an enterprise. The trust boundary moves from the secret itself to the device's posture.
That makes perfect sense. But let's talk about operations, because this is where deployments can die. What happens when a user drops their phone in a lake, their passkey is gone?
This is the #1 failure point I see in pilots. Passkeys are bound to the physical device or the cloud account. You lose it, you are locked out. You cannot roll this out without a really robust recovery strategy.
Which means temporary access passes, or TP.
It has to be TP. But TAS isn't just a reset password link. It's a time-limited passcode that requires high-privilege distribution.
So you have a new problem. How does a remote user prove their identity to the help desk to even get a TP?
Right. If your help desk just hands them out over the phone, you've just created a massive social engineering vulnerability that bypasses your entire FIDO2 model.
That is a huge logistical hurdle. You almost need a pre-verified break glass method for every single user.
You do. Or you build self-service flows that use a different trusted channel. But the
Yeah.
point is, you have to build that before March 2026. If you wait for the auto rollout, you'll have users setting up keys, locking themselves out, and just flooding the help desk.
So the action plan is more than just technical. It's defining recovery logic and making sure conditional access is actually checking device compliance.
Precisely. We're moving away from something you know.
Yeah.
The future is something you have, the device verified by something you are, the biometric.
It really does change the fundamental question of identity security.
It does. And here's something for you to chew on as we wrap up. As we move to this model, where the device's secure enclave is the root of our trust, does your organization actually have the maturity in its device lifecycle management to support that?
Wow.
Because if you can't trust your asset inventory anymore, you can't trust your identities.
That is the big question. Thank you for listening to this deep dive. Good luck with your March 2026 preparations, and we'll catch you on the next one.